There's been a lot of discussion around a recent land use decision at Auroville's Annapurna Farm. An official report has been issued to clarify the facts. And in this explainer, we're going to break down the key information from that document, looking at the plan itself and the data behind it.
So here's how we'll walk through it. We'll start with the decision itself. Then we'll get into the data on food security, which is pretty important context. From there, we'll look at the proposed strategy, address some specific claims that are out there, and then we'll finish up with a summary of the official position.
All right, let's start with the basics. What is the actual decision that's at the center of this?
At its core, the plan is to repurpose about 100 acres of the Annapurna Farm. The idea is to use that land to develop a new sustainability-focused campus, and this would be done in collaboration with an Indian Institute of Technology, or IIT.
Now, to really understand why this decision was made, the report first lays out the current situation with food production in Auroville. And to understand that, we need to talk about a key concept, the Greenbelt. This is a fundamental part of Auroville's master plan. It's a specific zone meant for farming and other services, and it's intentionally located close to residents to cut down on transportation and its environmental impact. The report then presents a pretty significant statistic about food production. As it stands, all of Auroville's farms, combined, are meeting less than 12% of the community's food needs. This means that the overwhelming majority, more than 88%, has to be brought in from external sources. Okay, so let's zoom in on Annapurna Farm itself. The report highlights a few key operational facts. First, its location. It's more than 10 kilometers from Auroville's center, which actually puts it outside that designated greenbelt in the master plan. And while the farm has a total of 135 acres, the report states that only about 30 of those acres are being effectively cultivated. And from a financial perspective, the farm has reportedly been operating at a loss, depending on donations to stay afloat. So, given that context, what's the proposed path forward? Well, that brings us to what the report calls the Strategic Consolidation Plan. The strategy laid out is essentially a two-step approach. Step one is to consolidate agriculture to intensify and upgrade farming, but to do it inside the master plan's green belt. Step two is to then leverage the Annapurna land, which is outside that belt, for the collaboration with IIT with the goal of benefiting the wider bioregion. And the thinking behind this consolidation is all about efficiency and alignment with the master plan. By moving farming closer to where people live, the stated goals are to lower food miles and transport costs, reduce emissions, and make things like irrigation more efficient. The report argues this makes the whole food system more resilient. And on the other side of that, what about the IIT collaboration on the Annapurna land? Well, the report projects some pretty significant benefits for the entire region. We're talking about creating new opportunities for education, research, and jobs, as well as providing things like labs and internships, really fostering a local culture of innovation. Now, the report also dedicates a good amount of space to clarifying some specific claims that have been circulating about this project. So let's go through those points. Okay, first up is the claim that Auroville is destroying its most productive farm. The report counters this by pointing back to the data that only about 30 acres are being effectively cultivated, and that the total output from all farms is under 12% of what's needed. So, from the report's perspective, this consolidation is actually a strategy to improve food security, not to harm it. Next, there is a specific claim about an EV truck test track being built on the farm. The report's response here is very direct. It says there is no approved plan for a truck test track. Any kind of specialized facility like that would have to go through all the standard siting, design, and environmental reviews. A major concern, of course, is about people's livelihoods. The report addresses this by stating that all current Aurovians, newcomers, and volunteers working at the farm will be offered a transition to farms that are within the Greenbelt. It also projects that the new campus is expected to actually increase local job opportunities in the long run. And finally, there's the claim that this plan violates the founder's vision. The report offers a different interpretation. It argues that a core principle of the Greenbelt vision was its proximity to the city. So, by that logic, consolidating agriculture closer to the center is framed as an action that actually aligns with that original intent.
So, to wrap things up, let's just quickly summarize the official position as it's laid out in the document.
From an administrative standpoint, the report states that this decision falls squarely within the legal mandate of the Auroville Foundation. It also notes that the plan has been endorsed by several of the resident-led working groups. So, to recap the official rationale,
This decision is being framed as a strategic choice. The aim is to improve food security by consolidating farming into the more efficient Greenbelt. At the same time, it leverages land that's outside the master plan for a project intended to create wider regional benefits. In essence, the report presents this as a move to address operational and financial issues while bringing development back into alignment with Auroville's original master plan.